everybody. It is Wednesday morning at 11 o'clock Central, and I am Dr. John Sherk, and that means this is Brown Bag Lunch. So I am sitting in a winter wonderland today here in my home in South Louisiana. We are experiencing a once in every 100 years snow and freeze. And this morning when I woke up and looked at my Apple Watch, it said it was 9 degrees outside, which just frankly never happens this far south. So it's been quite a surprising week this week. I grew up in Indiana, so those kind of things are normal up there, but down here everything just shuts down. And but fortunately the internet still works, and our power is still on, and the house is still warm, and that means I can bring you some things today. So this one is going to be especially for owners of companies, but it will apply to all of us. And I'd like to talk about the Stockdale Paradox. This became kind of famous maybe almost 20 years ago when a guy named Jim Collins wrote a book called Good to Great. And he included this as one of the characteristics of great companies, that they maintain the Stockdale Paradox. The Stockdale Paradox is this: maintaining unwavering faith that you can and will prevail in the end, regardless of the difficulties, while at the same time having the discipline to confront the most brutal facts of your current reality, whatever they may be. And this is based on an Admiral Jim Stockdale, who was a prisoner of war during the Vietnam War in the famous Hanoi Hilton prisoner of war camp from 1965 to 1973, 8 years. No prisoners' rights, no end in sight, when he was going to get out, if he was going to get out, and was he ever going to see his family again. And so this creates a very specific kind of perspective. And so Jim Collins, who wrote that book, interviewed him. And this is a little bit of the interview. Stockdale said, "I never lost faith in the end of the story. I never doubted not only that I would get out, but also that I would prevail in the end and turn the experience into the defining event of my life, which in retrospect, I would not trade." So then Colin asked him, "So who didn't make it out?" And he said, "Oh, that's easy. The optimists." The optimists, they were the ones who said, "Oh, we're going to be out by Christmas," and Christmas would come and Christmas would go. Then they'd say, "We're going to be out by Easter," and Easter would come and Easter would go. And then Thanksgiving, and then it would be Christmas again. And in the end, they died of a broken heart. And then Stockdale concludes with this: "This is a very important lesson. You must never confuse faith that you will prevail in the end, which you can never afford to lose, with the discipline to confront the most brutal facts of your current reality, whatever they may be." Now, I'm specifically choosing this the week of our new president's inauguration. There are indicators of an upturn in the economy in the U.S. There's lots of chatter about tariffs and all these other things that make it to the news, that 90% of which are so skewed by the time it gets to our ears, I don't even know what basis in reality it is. But the basic reality of the markets, what's happening, the indicators are saying everything heats up. Ironically, sitting here in the middle of a freeze, everything heats up moving into 2025, right? Now, I'm saying right now, if you're a business owner and you don't have a strategy for your recruiting and developing of technicians in particular, I'm just asking you to live the Stockdale Paradox, right? I'm asking you to look at the brutal reality, to believe it's all going to be great, but to look at the brutal reality of where you are, the reality of a talent shortage, and what are you going to do about it? And if the brutal reality of where you are is that you have been saying, "I'm not worried about it. It'll just work out," that's not really the best approach. I'm just saying. Whatever this thing is that you need to figure out in terms of building a real strategy, finding the time to think about it, how do you want to go compete for talent? Because you've heard me before. There's only two options. Well, a third is just not competing, in which you definitely will lose. But the two options are: one, Do it with culture and strategy, or 2, wage wars. And the wage wars thing doesn't work. We've talked about it, because you create jobs that cost too much to leave, and that becomes a high paid, low engagement workforce. And then you lose that way too. But if you're going to do it with culture and strategy, what's your strategy? Have you really thought about it? Or is this the thing that just keeps nagging you, and you think about it and you know you need to get to it? And eventually, I'm telling you, there will be thousands of owners, thousands of contractors in 2025 who will feel the edge of watching business go to a competitor when that customer wanted to work with you, and you just can't say yes because you don't have the guys to deliver it. It's coming. So the point of this, and my name's John, I'm your friend, but the point of this is to say, are you confronting the brutal reality that you find yourself in now? Or are you just shrugging and crossing your fingers and just saying everything will be fine? We'll be out of here by Christmas. This is the defining issue of being a contractor in 2025. The defining issue is, do you have the talent? 10 years ago, it was, do you have the capital? That's not the issue anymore. I guess it's a human capital situation. Do you have the talent? Do you have the head count? Are you able to go to market fully and say yes to all the business you want to say yes to because you have all the people you need, or do you not? And if you don't, again, my name's John, I'm your friend. You have to address this issue. You have to. Your conclusion in terms of strategy, you've got options, but just not having one, it's 2 guys running from a bear, and the other guy's going to outrun you. And so what are you going to do about it? How are you going to go to market for talent so that you can go to market for business? Okay. You can watch some of the previous ones for some content on that. Right now, my issue, what I want to do with today's Brown Bag Lunch is not get into the tactical part of it. I want to drill down to your inner game. Honestly, I want to drill down to your inner game and kind of confront you as a friend if you're just avoiding this issue because you don't know for sure what to do with it, or you just feel too busy. You don't have anything more important than this going on right now. So I just encourage you, as a contractor who employs technicians who want to get paid well and treated well and all of those things that come with it, what is your strategy? If you don't know, I'd love to get on the phone with you and talk to you about it. There's other resources. You can, go to my website, read my blogs, all the other stuff. But whatever it is you're going to do, it's time to get off dead center. It's time to quit hesitating and make a choice. You've heard me say before that business strategy, fundamentally, a business strategy, and recruiting is a function of a business strategy is choosing where to put capital with a result that you have a competitive advantage in the market, right? So the idea here is your strategy can't simply be an idea that you want to use, because if your competitor hears about it and decides he wants to do that with you, you no longer do that in the same market as you no longer have a competitive advantage. When you have to apply capital to that thing, whatever it is, your competitor would have to apply the same capital in order to have that same advantage. And if they don't, you have an enduring competitive advantage because you made an investment they didn't make. But this has to be thought through. What do you want it to be? How do you want to establish cultural assets that set you apart as the employer of choice in your market for technicians? Can be done. I've got clients who have done it and they own their market. On this level, they own it. But they've made the investment to have that competitive advantage. It isn't just talk. This is something that has to be built, and it's not going to be built if you don't get off dead center and make some choices about where you want to go with it. Okay? I don't usually talk in this tone, but I've just had too many conversations with people who shrug their shoulders and they're just hoping for the best. We'll be out of here by Christmas. I'm telling you, my friend, you will die of a broken heart. 2025 is for real. It's coming, right? And if you're not ready, it will pass you by. And eventually, I don't know where it all plays out for you. Hopefully not the worst of the worst, but you will definitely not have a great 2025 if you don't have a strategy for talent. Okay. So I'd love to help you. I'd love to help you. My calendar is yours. But you have to make that decision. It's not something I can do for you. All right. The upside is if you do make the decision, it's going to be a fantastic year in 2025. Okay. All right. So comment below, reach out to me. Happy to get on the phone with you. A number of you have done this with me, just getting to know you. Some of you even came on my podcast. But I'm the reason I'm here is to help you with that strategy. So I just encourage you to pay attention to that and think about it and make a decision. All right. I'm Dr. John Sherk. This has been Brown Bag Lunch, and I hope you see me again next week.